Hey everybody, this is JC with Techegy Podcast. I'm here with MM and MC, and you know what that means. It's time for the Techegy Podcast. I don't know where I was going with that one. I'm gonna have to come up with a better intro than that, especially because I didn't introduce the episode. But this is the worst Star Trek games.
Yes.
Yeah. And,
Yes.
you can see that MM lost his hat. So
I
on
lost
that
my
note,
hat.
everybody have a good night. Take care. Techegy Podcast signing out. So we've all played probably numerous, countless Star Trek games over our lives, and we're going to talk about the worst ones, but we're going to talk about some good ones too. So I'm going to go ahead and throw mine out there. And I know somebody here disagrees because they're weird.
Well, that's good.
And they really like playing bad games. So my number one worst Star Trek game is Star Trek Borg, and is also MC's number one favorite Star Trek game.
No. Just the best in the list I have.
So I'm going to start out that if anyone hasn't noticed over the past, how many years we've been doing this, 5 years now, that I hate FMV games. I'm sorry. I don't like them. You can show me the best FMV game and I'm still going to be mad at it.
Do you like movies?
I do like movies.
Well, that's all it is. Just with you pointing and clicking.
It's boring.
Man, I want to. If I want to watch a movie, I'll watch a movie. If I want to play a video game, I'm going to play a game.
Yeah, but you're choosing the outcome of your movie.
I can do that too by turning the movie off
or getting drunk,
or getting drunk.
Now you're choosing who lives or dies. That's.
Well, I don't know if I'd go that far with Borg. Borg's story isn't that deep. It pretty much plays out. It's the whole thing with Q is there and the Borg, and Q's kind of following you along, helping you make decisions, and I don't know, like I don't care to even like go on about it. Like I played it, I don't hate this, I'd say almost maybe an hour. I was playing it, and I don't think, and I'll tell you right, the acting isn't bad, obviously, because the actors are the actual Star Trek actors.
I thought it was good, better than some of their TV shows.
Yeah.
Well, especially better than Discovery.
That's what
acting
I mean.
is acting is fine, but I'm considering this a game, not a movie, right? So I'm looking at it from the perspective of a video game. Is this a fun video game? To me, no. To me, it is the worst of the games that we're going to talk about tonight.
I got one.
Now, if I wanted to say, let's say it's a movie. Let me completely change it. Let's say it's a movie. Okay, it's watchable. It's not bad from that point of view, but and I understand what FMV games are. I know that this is made to be an interactive story. I understand that, but looking at it through the lens of just simply a video game, is it a video game? Is it a video game that I want to play? No. Is Sewer Sharks a video game that I want to play? Absolutely not.
Well, Sewer Sharks wasn't terrible.
Shark?
Don't want to play it.
An excellent game.
Garbage.
Sewer Shark was not as bad as Night Trap.
I don't want to play that either.
Sewer Shark actually, it was the only FMV game that you actually had to be pretty talented to beat it.
I watched you play it at work one time. I remember.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm just
you were bringing.
It wasn't just a choice game. It was actually, you had to have accuracy to shoot the animals.
It is a little bit more interactive. I agree with you. The only reason I brought that up was because it was the first FMV that popped into my mind.
Yeah, well,
anyways,
Sega CD years when FMVs were the big deal, and they were in that era. They were actually.
That's true.
I mean, they were the best graphics you could get at the time.
All right,
over to MM.
So, and I played a lot of. I mean, I go all the way back to the old Apple games, and even this one. Which this one's still a pretty good game. It still holds up very well. My worst Star Trek game is Star Trek DAC, which was available on the Xbox, PlayStation. It was available for a lot of systems. I mean, who the hell came up with the source material on this game? I mean, I've seen Star Trek. I've watched all the iterations of Star Trek. This is not Star Trek. I mean, last time I checked, it was not about the Federation and Romulans fighting each other in a war. I mean, there was always negotiation in that respect. I have no idea what they were thinking. There's only 2 factions. Weren't there more in the movies and TV show?
Yeah, I mean, basically, you just had a couple different ships that fought each other. That's all.
Yeah, why didn't you just call it crappy asteroids and be done with it? I mean, that's really what it was. But it was boring. Asteroids is actually fun.
I agree with you. I really feel like that it was meant to be another game, and they just slapped the Star Trek.
Yeah.
In it.
I mean, it only had 3 modes. They're all deathmatch, assault, or conquest. Yeah, that's what DAC stands for. It's deathmatch. What is it? Deathmatch, assault, and conquest. That's what DAC stands for. That's not even clever.
I was going to say something else, but then I realized what show we were on. So
yeah, this is PG. We would be PG. There's no story mode.
It's funny they never tell you in the game that that's what it actually represents.
I mean, there was no redeeming quality for this game, and I'm a lifelong Star Trek fan, as everybody knows. And
I also want to point out that this game, for anybody that's ever played it, or if you're looking it up, this game came out in 2009.
Yeah, it's a newer game.
This came out on the 360 and the PS3.
I mean, this game for the Vectrex was a better game, and this came out in 82, 83, 82, 82. 82. This was a better game than DAC.
Yeah, I don't really have anything extra to add on to it other than because there's not. It's barely a game, and I don't mean barely a game as an FMV sense. I mean it's barely a game that there's no content to it.
I mean it's
how about this? Some of the graphics in the background looked okay.
Some of the music was okay.
Yeah, music's all right.
I mean, they had like that space station in the background where you're shooting on top of, sort of.
Yeah, but this was the lamest multiplayer I've ever seen.
This is a 360 PS3 game. It's not that long ago.
I know. It's pretty boring. I mean, it's you just use your 2 sticks, right? One to point, one to aim, and one to fly.
At the time, when did the iPhone come out? 2009. And that's when cell phones with smart screens start to get popular, right? Games on phones were better quality at that time.
Wait a minute.
Than that game is.
Maybe that's what this game was for a phone.
It was never released on the phones.
No, it wasn't released on.
I
was trying to see when this one came out. Yeah, I was trying to see when this one came out. This one was 2004, and this one production value was better. And this
2004? That can't be right.
Yeah, it says 2000. Here, it's a 360 game.
2004? That movie wasn't even out yet.
Yeah, it was. It was. No, you're right. You're right. That's wrong. Why does it say that on here? Is it that bad that they have the wrong copyright date on the thing?
Well, I mean, that game, it's like 2012.
Yeah, 2009 is when the movie came out, if I remember correctly.
Yes. Yeah. So juxtapose that, the new generation of Star Trek movies started in 2009, and DAC came out in 2009.
Yeah, I think
on PC, PS3, and 360.
Yeah, this one doesn't even have a date on it. It's that
PC, folks. I have hidden. I can tell you in a second. Oh, no, I can't because I don't have it open. Never mind.
2013. There we go. 2013.
There you go.
It was the inside of the damn jacket.
I was going to say, no way, 2004. That movie wasn't even out yet.
2004 is the copyright on the Dolby sound effects for it.
Yeah. I was going to say, I saw that movie in theaters, and I was definitely not 14.
Yeah, it was 2009 when the movie came. They were working on the game since the first movie came out.
Yeah.
Which doesn't say much.
All right, so that leaves MM. What do you got? What's your worst?
MC. Actually, I said my worst. MC.
Or I'm sorry, MC. I'm sorry.
My worst was Star Trek Starship Creator Warp 2, which I couldn't even figure out what the heck I was supposed to do. Bunch of buttons on the left and a grid in the background, and I was totally lost.
Yep. Yeah. That one wasn't.
That one wasn't good.
I thought it was terrible. I mean, the they had like a shipbuilding part that it looked like crap. I don't know. I couldn't figure it out. So I don't know. All I can say is maybe I just wasn't intelligent enough to play that one. I don't know. So
it was bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
it's
my
bad.
worst.
It was number 3 on my list after DAC. Again, is it even really a game?
That's what I mean. It just build a ship and push
Build
some
a ship.
buttons.
It's build a ship, go to this outpost, defend it. Build a ship, go to this outpost.
That sounds like a Bob the Builder reject.
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Almost. Yes, we can. We can go there. Absolutely.
Did you choose your difficulty in it, though? That was the question.
But that was my worst. See, I thought DAC was a little better. At least it had prettier graphics. You did fly a ship and you did shoot another one, even though it was so repetitive and kind of boring, but at least it was a little better.
Yeah.
I want to talk real quick about one that I really wish that they could have made work, and I really wanted to like it, but I couldn't, and that was Star Trek New Worlds that came out in 2000, August of 2000. It was Star Trek's attempt at like a 3D interactive kind of space builder / real-time strategy. It's the first attempt.
Yeah.
And it was so close, but it's like they gave up on making it like halfway through. I really wanted to like it. I thought if I put myself in my shoes at 10 years old in August of 2000, if I played that, I would have thought it was cool as hell. Even as bad as it is, I would have played it and liked it probably as a 10-year-old, right?
Yeah.
Like I wanted to like it so bad. I thought that I don't know, just everything about it was so cool. Like I even looked at like promotional material for it, and even the cover art's cool for it. Like
the
everything
cover
was
art's
so
actually
cool.
And it was made by Interplay, who made some good Star Trek games. It made the 25th anniversary.
I know.
And
really,
the other, what was the other one? Judgment Rights.
Yeah, Judgment Rights
Yep.
was good.
And it was released on it wasn't just on PC, it was released on the Dreamcast too. Which it was, right? I don't know if I could be mistaken, so nobody attack me here, but I'm not.
I'm actually
I meant anyone else in the comments that I don't know if there's another Star Trek game that came out on the Dreamcast.
I saw PC. I just saw PC, but yeah, it could be.
Sorry. The IGN review I'm looking at now has one for PC and Dreamcast.
Yeah, I don't remember it, and I had a Dreamcast. I enjoyed my Dreamcast.
Well,
a Dreamcast. We'll do an episode on that because Dreamcast is super underrated, along with the GameCube.
Yeah.
A reviewer doesn't like it when he says save your hard drive space for Star Trek Dominion Wars.
Yeah.
I mean, and around that time, hard drive space was expensive.
John,
even honestly,
this one was like a strategy game, did you get the feeling like they were trying to make something like Star Wars Battlefront or something?
A little bit,
kind of look and feel, but it just wasn't there.
It wasn't there, but I'll be totally honest with you. I'm still playing it. I'll pop back into it for a little bit and play it because like it's just I don't know. Maybe it's just the nostalgic thing of like that early 2000s kind of thing, and I don't know. I'm really into just like the style of the game and that it kind of reminds me of like when we'd get together and not we, but my friends and I'd get together and we'd play like games and LAN parties and stuff like that. Maybe it's just the time period, but I really wanted to like it. It did end up on my list. It was number 5, but I tried. I really tried to put it all behind me. So anyways, what Star Trek games have you guys been playing that maybe you didn't think were too bad or you really wanted to like but couldn't?
This one. The one that came out and we were arguing the date, 2014. It's not it's a Gears of War wannabe. Mm-hmm. And for the $4 you can get it for new. It's actually right now on eBay. It's to me it's worth $4. It's now I will say, go out and search for the commercial on this on YouTube. It's got Kirk fighting the Gorn, and it's the guy in the old costume, and it's one of the funniest. It's one of the funniest commercials with Shatner you'll ever see. They start fighting over the controller. They're playing this game. The commercial is better than the game. But if you haven't seen that YouTube video, it is hysterical. That being said, this game isn't awful. I always wanted to like it. I didn't when I initially got it, but for $3 or $4, it's not bad. It is 2-player. So
I will venture to say that even the worst game, if you can get it for $4 on eBay, free shipping, it was worth it. No matter how bad the game is, right? Just to play it.
I'd pay $10 for that Star Trek Hidden Evil. I mean, it wasn't.
I think I'd pay 10. I think I'd pay 10
I mean,
too.
it isn't a great game, but I don't know. I kind of liked it, even though it was a little janky, and
they had such an opportunity to make an awesome action Star Trek game on consoles, and they didn't take it that direction. You know what it feels like to me, honestly? It feels like the Burger King games. Like you would get this at like McDonald's for $5 as a promotion. That's what the game feels like to me.
Well,
like
it feels like it isn't finished. I mean, the controls I thought weren't very good. You know what I mean?
Like if I went to the movie theater and bought an extra large popcorn and drink, I got that game with it. That's what the game feels like to me. And but wait, I know that cuts deep, but that doesn't mean I hate the game. It just, they could have, can you imagine a full-fledged action Star Trek game on console, even on the 360 or PS3, where you had the ship battles, where you had the Earth fights, where you had the like stuff, or not Earth fights, sorry, planet fights, where you had like the first hand-to-hand combat and phaser combat and stuff like that. It could have been awesome.
Yeah.
Could have been.
Taking Bridge Commander and mix that with one of the Elite Force, the Voyager Elite Force first-person shooter games, it would have been great. But it didn't.
Nope.
So I would pay $10. I agree with MC. I don't think I would pay more than 10 though.
No, I wouldn't pay more than 10, but
no. What about you, MC? What do you have a favorite Star Trek game?
Oh, me? I think my favorite.
Hey, other MC.
Sorry, I was looking at my notes. No. I have a whole bunch of them, but they're all older, like, the 25th anniversary, Judgment Rights. I cannot remember the name of the Next Generation adventure game.
The one that was on the Genesis and Super Nintendo.
What was I don't remember the name, but I thought
I think it's just called The Next Generation.
It might be, but it's an adventure game. It's actually really good. But them were all my favorites. I've been trying to find a flight, strategy shoot one like Legacy that's really good, but
it's called Futures Past.
I don't know, not perfect for me.
You want to go back?
It's called Futures Past, by the way.
Oh, the TNG game?
Star Trek TNG Futures Past. It came out in the Genesis, the Super Nintendo, and the Game Gear. The Game Gear had a version. Ooh. Yeah. I kind of want to check that one out.
Yeah, I may have to check that one out. No, MC, I can tell you there's a real old one. Remember the text adventure Star Trek Kobayashi Alternative? Mm-hmm. Came out for the Commodore and for the Apple II, because I had it on the Apple II. That one was interesting.
You know what game that MC and I ran into? I think, I'm sorry, I don't want to speak for you, MC, because I can't remember exactly what you said.
No, I can't.
We both stumbled upon, was it the ColecoVision version of Star Trek?
Yeah,
it's actually good.
It's good.
It uses the big controller too.
Huh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it basically is this game. It's basically this. This is the 5200 version, but it's actually not a bad game.
Not at all.
I really liked it. I really did.
Yeah, I didn't have it back in the day, and I'm a Trek fan. I didn't have it back in the day because it came out around the time of the crash.
I mean, for that era too. I mean, just it was really good for that era of game. So.
Yeah, and like I said, it used the Super Action controller too, which was a rarity because the overlays were for that.
John, what one did we play in the arcade with us shooting the board?
That was the it was the adapted art. Well, actually, I think the arcade game came out first, but that was Voyager Elite Force.
That one's always gotten good reviews.
They've released 2, and I owned both of them when they came out. on PC, there was Star Trek Voyager Elite Force 1 and 2 that came out. And I always loved playing those. They were first-person shooters. Now, obviously, it's different than us playing with light guns, right?
Yeah.
The second one's really good. If you want a good first-person shooter, Star Trek theme, play that one. It gets really good when you get on the Borg cube towards the end of the game, and I'm not going to spoil it for anyone, but it gets really cool at the end of the game.
The dog thinks so too.
It's the Borg.
Well, we're gonna list them, ours top to bottom, 1 through 5, each of us. No, worst to out of the 5 worst. Are we gonna list?
I can say worst and best.
That's what I mean.
I can list. Yeah, go ahead, MC. You kick it off.
All right. My worst was the Star Trek Starship Creator Warp 2. Because I couldn't even figure out how to play that one. And then Star Trek DAC was my second worst because it was basically boring, even though it had good graphics, I thought, but the gameplay was just boring. Star Trek New Worlds, the strategy one. Boy, that had potential, although it was just too janky and stuff, but it was the middle of the road for me. Number 4 was Star Trek Borg, which I actually really liked because I thought Q was hilarious in there.
Then why is it on your worst list?
Huh?
Then why is it on your top 5 worst list?
Yeah.
Well, it's here's why it's bad. Some of the movie, like where you had to make a choice, I didn't even know what to click on. Like there'd be 2 scalpels there or something to work on something. I didn't even know they were actually clickable. You know what I mean? So that was a problem. The not the shuttle bay, the elevator part, I could not figure out how to go from the one floor to the next. And Q just keeps saying, it's in front of you on the tricorder. Research the tricorder, and I couldn't figure that out for the life of me. But luckily, in the one I played, you could skip chapters because the one I played was actually online. It's on a website that's https // it's borgremastered.com, and it's nice.
We don't know if this is legal or not.
What?
This remaster.
Oh, well, I don't know. That's where I played it because when I searched for it, that's where it come up. It was easiest to play. I actually thought that was it was pretty playable and everything else, but I liked the filming. I thought it was quality filming, but there was problems with it. I mean, sometimes you had no idea what to do, But I liked the story. I liked Q had some excellent comments depending on what you did. So it reminded me a lot of Q in the movies, in the Star Trek movies and stuff. So I mean, I thought it was funny. I thought it was fun.
We don't need an entire apology discourse on it.
Well, okay, but anyway, Star Trek Hidden Evil was the better.
You're gonna have to wear the hat.
5. So
Hidden Evil was the one I was telling you guys that I got for my dad for, I think it was either his birthday or Christmas when I was like 9 years old, and he said it was good then. Then later it's crap. You had some boxes up earlier.
I've got some boxes. Yeah, I mean, obviously the worst game to me that Star Trek game I've ever played, and I go back pretty damn far. Back to the Apple II days, I have to say is DAC. I mean, it's one of those things that looks like somebody did a half-ass game and then slapped the word Star Trek on it. I mean, that's what it looked like to me. It was very poor production value. It was obviously not done by anybody who actually likes Star Trek or maybe even watched an episode. I mean, it was probably one of the poorest games I've seen. And my favorite, it's pretty simple, and I go back, is the 25th anniversary. I think from the technological, easy for me to say, standpoint back, when this game came out, 25th anniversary, what year would that be? That would be 93. It says on 92, 93 is what this thing came out. I mean, you just look at some of the graphics on it, and it was obviously a love letter to Star Trek. The Judgment Rights used the same engine, did some improvements. Another good game, but this one right here at the time was land breaking. So I would have to say this is my favorite game. I do like the one for the Vectrex. I did, we mentioned the ColecoVision one. I thought that one was fun. The 5200 one is almost the same game. And then this 360 one with Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto on the cover. It's kind of almost a guilty pleasure to play that one. It's like what would Gears of War be if it wasn't finished and was Star Trek. I mean, it's for $4. I think it's a good game. But again, if I have to rate them all, 25th anniversary is the best. DAC is like the Star Trek discovery of the video game world.
Yeah.
I mean, 25th anniversary had like King Quest quality. You know what I mean?
Did.
It
And
was
it had all the actors. It had all
Yeah.
the actors' voices before that was popular.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Yeah. So for me, my list pretty much looks like, I don't even know what I did with it. So obviously I had Borg first, Starship Creator Warp 2 was second, DAC was third, Hidden Evil was fourth, and New Worlds, which I wanted. Yeah, which I gave as a gift. And New Worlds, which I really wanted to like so bad, and I'm still trying to like it. Like, I'm actively still trying to like it. I actually haven't searched to see if anybody made mods or something for it, because that would be great if somebody had made a mod. I do want to talk about favorite Star Trek games ever. I don't know. I think maybe if we mention it, but I didn't get to mention mine. It's Star Trek Armada 2. So Star Trek Armada 2, there's two games, 1 and 2, obviously, that are like real-time strategy games, kind of. Very much like the Blizzard game, which is escaping me for some stupid reason right now. But anyways, you what you do is it's based around missions and stuff, although you can do multiplayer combat, you can do things like that, but you build a star base, you build up your fleet. The ships look really good. The voice acting has the actual actors in both games. It's really good. I think the gameplay is awesome. You get all the red alert sounds, you get the sounds of the ships exploding, the lasers, the torpedoes, and everything. And it's just a fun game. I have the original copy. I could not find it to show tonight, unlike MM, who has every single Star Trek game ever made in existence.
Nope. Just TOS. Just TOS.
But it really is. It's my favorite. And I think the introduction, there's a lot of cool stuff in there, like the Borg in the game. They can assimilate your ships and turn them into Borg ships. So like when you're fighting the Borg, they shoot that green, yellow, green beam at your ship, and if it goes too long, it starts turning your ships into Borg ships, and they start attacking you back. So the game still works. You can buy it on Steam or GOG. You can buy 1 and 2. They both still work on modern computers. I have them both installed on here. I think the cover art for both of the games is cool too. Cover art's big for me, because that's back in the day before we had the internet and stuff to read reviews, what did you base what you bought the game off of?
The back of the box,
right?
But
the back of the box, maybe, but sometimes
some magazines.
I remember times going and buying games, and you pick up the jewel case and you look at the back, and it would just be words, and then all you had was the front as the cover art.
That's true, but a lot of them showed screenshots, and I was always like, does that look like a good game or not?
Yeah, I always.
But what made you
back in the day?
But what made you pull it off the shelf in the first place?
Star Trek.
Well, maybe just the genre or title. But yes,
just say it's the cover art.
Cover art. Yeah,
I'm a big cover art person. I don't know.
Look at the Atari games. I don't think there's one cover art that actually showed a picture of what the game looked like. It was, you see a cool looking, guy looks like Indiana Jones, and you put the game in, and there's 8-bit graphics.
Yeah, but here's the thing: Star Trek or Star Wars, if they were a game, I'd always pick them up first.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Whether the box was terrible looking or not,
I mean, I would have looked at this. Let's see if I can get the on the camera. But I would have looked at that, and that right there looks like frickin' Star Trek.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes they can show you something cool when you get it home, and it's still obviously terrible.
Yeah. No, it's exactly what happens. You open it up, and it's like,
hey,
what the? That's a cutscene.
It was a 50-50 shot back then.
Yeah.
At least
even
had
this
half
game,
a chance.
even this game's back looks cool.
Yeah, it
looks
does.
nothing like the game though.
You're right.
I mean,
No.
it looks nothing. I mean, maybe a cutscene, which in these days cutscenes are easy for the most part. It's making those scenes actually playable. So
Yep. Yeah. Real quick, I want to name another game in here, and that's Star Trek Deep Space Nine: The Fallen, which is a third-person shooter, adventure shooter.
Gears of War.
That's built on that's built on the Unreal Engine.
Oh,
came out for PC and Mac only in the early 2000s. I don't have a date here. Unfortunately, I didn't write the whole date down. I put early 2000s for some reason. But it's fun. It's seriously a fun game. It's based obviously in the Deep Space Nine universe, and there's even parts in it that are kind of creepy at times. Like it gets borderline like horror game on a couple situations.
Wow.
So also I think a game definitely on Windows. If you have an older Mac, that's one of the Power PC Macs, it'll play on there super easy, because that's what I played it on. I played it on an old iMac. Still, I think it's a good game. I think it holds up very well.
Was there a Klingon game?
Klingon Academy.
Yeah, I think I played part of that. I think
It's all right.
I thought I liked it a little bit.
Yeah, it's all right.
I haven't played that in years. It's probably around here somewhere.
Am I the only person? I know when I was younger, so I can't say for you guys. Hey, well, you would have been younger too when we were all younger. But I'm talking like I was like probably 12, 13.
Back when we had hair.
I used to play Bridge Commander all the time, just randomly. Like because it really felt like you were like a captain on the ship. And it wasn't even like a full-fledged game when I was playing it. It was like the demo that I was playing at the time.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that one. I have to look that one up.
I think
remember that one.
If I'm not mistaken, there's a VR version of it now.
Yeah, that there is. There's the Star Trek Bridge Crew.
Yeah, Bridge Crew. That's it. Yeah,
which is actually pretty. It's actually not bad. I've played a little bit of it. The problem I had is I want instant in game, and they were doing too much stuff to set up. So I mean, by the time I was an hour in, I already got bored of it. So I have to give that one another chance. I mean, I just don't do a lot of the VR stuff, but that game, it's gorgeous.
It is.
It's gorgeous.
So I saw a lot of sites for some reason were rating Star Trek Online as like the -- Star Trek game. And I'm pretty sure, MC, didn't we try to play that some years back?
Yep.
And we just didn't get into it.
Interesting.
It's a little janky though. It isn't. I don't know. I thought it was a little bit controlled when that were a little funky.
When I play Star Trek, man, I want the ship battles. I want the adventures. I don't want to
shoot a Klingon. You want to shoot a Klingon
right between its dirty, ridge-filled eyes.
See, I go back to where they weren't ridge-filled.
Yeah, when they were still smooth.
Yeah.
That creeps me out.
Pre-Worf. Actually, it was pre-motion Star Trek: The Motion Sickness. No. They got the ridges on when they did that movie. So
but I think the online wasn't bad though, John. I mean, it just a little bit.
We didn't play it for very long. I know that.
No, I didn't. But it's still coming out with new content. It looks good.
I want to get back into it, but I'm like, let's play really crappy arcs instead.
Yeah.
Dak.
Well, wait a minute. Well, the interface on Arc, that menu system
that's just for a different episode.
It is, but it's terrible.
Final words, gentlemen. Any other games we want to bring up, mention, cry about?
We just did Arc.
I'll cry about that in a different episode. Actually, I'm gonna make an actual video about it because I'm so mad.
Yeah, we should.
All right.
On that note,
I'm JC. And I'm here with MM and MC. Live long and
Long and
prosper. And
prosper.
as the nerds always say,
Stay nerdy, my friends.
Goodbye.
That's it, man. Game over, man. Game over.